Hello everybody and welcome back to another update video for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 where the October Developer Livestream has just wrapped up, and I gotta say, not the best one. It was kind of light on anything. There wasn't anything regarding ATC improvements. There was one mention of career mode the entire stream. We also have a bit more details, some disappointing details about the PlayStation release of Flight Sim 2024. So without further ado, let's dive on in. By the way, just going to have a bunch of pictures that were shown during the stream in the background so you have something enjoyable to look at. So let's start with Reno Air Races and Bush Trips. They are both planning to be launched next year. New night lighting is coming in Sim Update 4, which we already know. We've been kind of seeing that in there. I have a video here that you can see the difference between Sim Update 3's lighting and Sim Update 4's lighting. Overly bright POIs are being worked on, so bridges and stuff like that. They said a lot of those packages were from 2020, and when Gaia did stuff with lighting, it kind of changed things. So there's a whole thing being worked on with that. So hopefully bridges and other POIs will no longer be beacons of suns on the ground. One of my complaints is, whenever a world update came out or city update in 2020, there would be all these pins kind of letting you know where the new stuff is, and that was gone in 2024. They are working on bringing that back to the world map in 2024. And stutters on landing and loss of FPS when panning camera is still being investigated and worked on. There are some fixes already implemented in Sim Update 4, but they still plan on adding more fixes to it and improving those things. We noticed that in today's stream on landing with CJ4. It was a pretty hefty stutter on that. So still disappointing that that's still a thing, but fixes are on the way. Moving on to some aircraft news, the EC-135 Eurocopter is getting its first update. It's currently in testing. See, this is the type of stuff I would really love to see these new builds, like especially if people are in a beta and the beta is already going on. I would love to be able to test those new versions out in the beta, because obviously it's just in the quality assurance testing phase out of the public view. It would just be nice to have that ability to use these updates and see what the public thinks of them as well. But either way, there is a new update coming for the Eurocopter. The ATR is currently being worked on a 2024 version, which is going to be bringing in new liveries, new variations of the aircraft as well. And they didn't talk about career mode, so I don't know if that's going to be a thing. It would be disappointing if it doesn't support career mode in 2024. I guess it's just something we'll see in the future. We have an update on the Aviator Edition planes. Most of them are being worked on. Not all of them will be 2024 native, so no walk around, no EFB, and things like that. But again, if you're on PlayStation, I still don't think it's worth grabbing that edition, but that's just me. Anyways, glider updates. Further changes are coming for gliders in 2026. The H225 was brought up again. A new build is in testing right now, planned for Sim Update 4 if stable. I mean, we heard that about Sim Update 3 as well, so I'm still not sure what's going on with the H225, but there is another build of it somewhere out there. And lastly, they talked about the Embraer Praetor again. It's going to be having its own custom EFB, a whole new avionics system going on with that, and it's planned to release next year. Moving on to career, this was the only thing mentioned about career the entirety of the stream. Heavy cargo and super heavy cargoes planned for Sim Update 4, still working on the updates for planes. So hopefully it's not something that gets delayed again. We'll see. But they are going to be mid to long range flights. And of course, the A330, the Beluga, I'm sure the Dreamlifter and stuff like that will be supported. And the Beluga specifically will be having some spaceport missions where you're moving around some space equipment, which sounds pretty cool. So it'll be nice to finally dive into that after 10 months, I think, maybe 11 months. So hopefully that doesn't get delayed again, because we've gotten that excitement before, and then it's like, oh, it's coming out in the next Sim update. Moving on to the PlayStation 5, there is, I'm going to be honest, this was really disappointing to see. There is no crossplay. There is no shared marketplace purchases. So you're not going to be able to play with PC players or Xbox players. And then, of course, the same goes for Xbox and PC players. Won't be able to play with PlayStation friends. And if you buy anything on PC and Xbox through the marketplace, it will not transfer over to your PlayStation account. So was really disappointed to see that, because I was kind of hoping with how the FAQ was worded that, Microsoft account isn't needed. It was just something that was optional. So if you wanted to do it, you'd be able to get it, but unfortunately, no. PlayStation players will only be able to play with PlayStation users, and if you buy anything on PlayStation and want to use it on Xbox and PC, you can't do that. And if you buy anything on PC or Xbox, you can't bring it over to the PlayStation. So something to keep in mind for your future purchases. And the only peripheral they said was going to be supporting Flight Sim at launch so far was the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS 4, which is, I believe, one of the only PlayStation flight sticks out there. I'm sure there's going to be more, of course, now. But at launch, so far, it's only the T-Flight HOTAS 4 for PlayStation 5 users. And that's everything regarding existing issues, things that were brought up, and everything like that. It was kind of lackluster this time around, I'd say. I do have a few things. You've already seen pictures of it in the background. Famous Flyer 13 is the Northrop T-38A Talon. It's developed by Blackbird Simulations. They didn't say what the price was for it. I'm going to assume it'll probably be about the $15 range for PC and Xbox users. Of course, if you pre-order Flight Sim on PlayStation, you get that included in the pre-order. Then we have Famous Flyer 14 Boom XB1, which is developed by Flight FX and working title, and it'll be released for free for everybody, so that's pretty cool there. And the Red Bull Air Race is planned to release alongside Sim Update 4. It didn't sound like they were overly confident on that. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I'd be surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't release. I don't know. It sounded like there was some hesitancy on saying releasing alongside Sim Update 4. And that's everything. I mean, there were some other things talked about, like 2020. I don't mention that stuff anymore. I'm on to 24. But I always like to do these videos and showcase the main things I know you guys would be interested in knowing about. So, I mean, not really hearing much more about career mode, not hearing much more about ATC improvements, and just, the other pre-existing things. Nothing about the 747 issues with LODs. And so, yeah, I mean, not my favorite developer live stream of the year. It was kind of disappointing. They also did have a surprise for December. They didn't talk about it, though. They just had a slide and said they can't talk about it. So we'll see what the surprise is. Maybe we can be Santa and use the sleigh with reindeer. Who knows? But anyways, be sure to tell me what you guys think of the news that we have today. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys next time. See ya.